So this is a tutorial on how to use this section at the top in adjustments. So brightness and contrast, levels and curves. So each have a different use, but essentially they're gonna allow you to increase and decrease the brightness and contrast for particular parts of the picture. So as you can see, I've already applied selective color and black and white. So now you can add in the next adjustments. You can also go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and click Brightness and Contrast, Levels or Curves. So we'll start with Brightness and Contrast. Click OK. So you can see it won't damage the picture. You can actually click the eye and it takes the picture back to normal. So I'm going to put them all back on. And so from here, I want you to have a go with maybe increasing the brightness. And so you can see here that has a direct effect on the background. If you decrease it, you can see it makes the picture look a bit strange. So you can increase and decrease the contrast to have for example, the white of the background become more intense and white. On these sections here, you got a bit of grey on the top, and that kind of works for maybe what some of you might be doing. Okay, if you're wanting a very white, punchier background, now I'll take that away. You can also use levels, so I'm just going to click here, but also you can go up into New Adjustment Layer and click Levels. So I'm just going to click Levels. So levels here, it's like a graph, and essentially you can move this triangle, which is the darks, right up to this section here, and you can see it starts to darken the figure, and you can actually start to make it an interesting silhouette, and you can give the illusion that maybe your lighting is slightly different. Also, you can play around with the grays and increase or decrease the grays in the picture, which make it actually look quite interesting as well. And then this triangle here, you can actually have a go at increasing the whites. So you can see here I've increased the whites, and the background has actually gone very, very white. You can then start to move the middle section to balance out the figure and have the grays come out a little bit more, or you can even play with this black here, or this black triangle here, to increase and decrease the darks as well. And so when you're happy with it, for example, having it look like this, you can leave it like this and print it from there, for example, or crop it and print it from there. Now I'm going to show you the next one. So you can also have a go at curves. So I'm just going to click curves there, or we can also click curves in here. And so from here, click OK. You can then have a go at curves. Usually having a shallow S, so you can see just here I made a shallow S, creates an interesting effect on the layer. Okay, you've got your darks and then you have your lights in this area. So if you pull that up, you have more lights. If you pull this down, you've got more darks, or the darks actually turn into the lights as well. So you can create some interesting effects a little bit later, like solarization, which is a slightly older technique back in the day when artists used film and also chemicals to develop their images, creating a very metallic, interesting image. Anyway, so I created a shallow S, and so you can see the figures come out here. The hair is actually quite dark. You lose a little bit of detail in the hair, so I might have a play with that and possibly try and increase the grays and have a go turning the curve a bit more. So the hair's kind of coming out a little bit more there, but then I'm losing a little bit of the coloring in there. So what you can do is you can also set it back to default as well. I think that'll be reset adjustment to defaults. There it is. If I click that, It goes back. And there's other things you can do. So draw to modify the curve. You can sample different areas, or you can just click and drag to create a custom curve. You also have different options in here: lighter, darker, negative, strong contrast, for example. And so there's some of the default options. So once you're done, always make sure you save your work in your pictures area.